Now, there's somebody here today to show you an eye-opening demonstration about the water we drink and this remarkable machine from Japan. His name is Bob Gridelli. Hey, Bobby, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Pat.
Why don't you take over?
Great, I will. So I want to welcome everybody, and I'm going to go into the demonstration here, and I'm going to show you the 3 unique properties of this water and why it's so very special. The first property I'm going to show you is what's called the ORP, which stands for the oxidation reduction potential. And we're going to show you that with a meter that shows whether a liquid has a positive ORP or a negative ORP. And if it has a positive ORP, that means it's bad for you, or it's oxidizing, or aging, or rusting. We all know what that is, right? And so if it has a negative ORP, that's what makes it a powerful antioxidant. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to pour some of these liquids first. And we're going to start with Dasani. And these are, we just put together an array of liquids that most people drink, right? Did you drink any of this? Dasani? How about Aquafina? Yes. I think I used to drink all of these. And how about Smart Water? Yes?
My holistic doctor gave it.
Your holistic doctor. Okay. I'll show you what I call it in a little bit. How about the Arrowhead sparkling water? Yes? Anyone like that water?
They have different flavors.
That's why I kind of like those, all the flavors. Actually, this was my favorite water. It's called Alive. In a second, you'll see what I call it. How about sports drinks, Gatorades? Yes, everybody like those? I used to drink a lot of sports drinks because, you know, you see athletes drinking it, so it must be good for us. How about sodas? Do any of you drink sodas? Okay, and this is just tap water. Anybody drink tap water? Occasionally. And then this is Kangen water. Okay, so this is the pinpoint ORP meter. Now we're going to test the ORP of the Dasani. So notice Dasani is over 215 right now. Now we go to the Aquafina. How's the Aquafina? I'll go over 220 and climbing. How about the Smart Water? Over 230 and climbing. How about Arrowhead? Over 315 and climbing, getting worse. Alive Water. This was one of my favorite ones. 400, now I call it dead water. How about Gatorade? Any of you drink Gatorade? Like 393 and climbing. So remember, the worse, the more positive it is, the worse it is. How about 7-Up? Now, all sodas are pretty much the same, just we use light colored. So you'll see 394 and climbing. How about the tap water? 325. Here's the star of the show, you guys. Look at negative what? Negative 400. Now negative 426. So as you can see, when it has a negative, this is the only water that has a negative. That's why they call it negative water in Japan. That's why they use it in hospitals over there, because all the positive ones are oxidizing, aging, rusting, bad, internally on the body. But the negative water is neutralizing the free radicals, so that's why we want to drink this water and hydrate your body on a regular basis. The next property I'm going to show you the water is, we're going to go over here and we're going to test these waters for the pH of the water. So pH stands for potential hydrogen. And we have a little chart here where I'm going to show you, and we're going to put a few drops in these waters. And we're going to show whether they are on the acidic side or the alkaline side. And we'll just put a couple drops in each one of them. We have a nice little pretty colorful display today, right? And we'll kind of stir these up real quick so you can get a better look, and then I'll show each one of them. Let's clean that off. Let's clean it off each time. Okay. So let's go start here with the Dasani water, and we'll use this pH chart here and show. So the Dasani is what?
Very acidic.
On the acidic side, right? How about the Aquafina? Also acidic. How about the Smart Water? A little better, but still acidic, right? How about the Arrowhead Sparkling? Oop. Very acidic. How about the Alive Water? That's why I call it dead water now. How about the Gatorade?
Very acidic.
Also very acidic. And how about the 7-Up? Bet you didn't know you were drinking so many acidic things, did you? How about tap water? So right around neutral, right? So tap water is always going to be neutral to slightly alkaline because it's federally regulated by the government. So besides, the chlorine, the fluorides, they put lye in the water, which is a pH of 14, very alkaline, to raise the pH of our city water, the tap water, because if it were acidic, it would rust the pipes. So I don't think they're concerned about our pipes. They're concerned about the city pipes. So that's why it's always going to be in that range. So let's move on to the Kangen water. Now here's the star of the show. What is the Kangen water? Very alkaline, right? So with a touch of a button, we can change the alkalinity, and this one is 9.5 pH. So we all know that we should be slightly alkaline, right? Our body, because we're over 75% water. Unfortunately, look what we're drinking today, and the foods we're eating, and the air we're breathing. And so when you drink this water on a regular basis, just think about your bodily fluids, right? Now watch what happens. What did we just do? Just with a little of the water, we neutralize that and raise the pH of the water. We'll go to the Aquafina. Notice. How about the Smart Water? Notice I'm just putting in a little bit, right? So imagine when you're drinking this on a regular basis, what happened to the Arrowhead water? It was struggling, and then it went right back to acidity. That's because it's very acidic. Notice the Alive Water. No change. How about the Gatorade? Also no change. How about the 7-Up? So now we'll go over to the tap water. Notice it changed pretty easily, right? So now when you're drinking this water on a regular basis, that's what it's going to help your body to do to balance your pH. Now, I'm going to take the 7-Up here. Now it's already diluted, right? Watch what happens. Now think about you're drinking this on a regular basis. Watch what happens when we just add a little bit of that. Notice it takes it right back to an acidic state, just with a few drops. If you're drinking these things, ladies, and these are all pretty much in the same range, watch the Kangen water.
Wow.
We just destroyed the Kangen water with a little bit of diluted soda. If you're drinking sodas, this is right around the pH of about 2.5, which makes it about 50,000 times more acidic if you were starting over here at the neutral point. So that's how acidic it is. And I'm just going to show you real quick. This came from Wellness Magazine. And it says, what does it show the equivalent of soda is?
Battery acid.
It shows soda equals battery. Your battery in your car, the acid level of the battery in your car equivalent to soda. So imagine, if we want to stay on the alkaline side, you definitely don't want to drink anything like this, right? So as you can see now, that's the second property of the water that makes Kangen water so very special and why you want to be hydrating your body on a regular basis. So now I get to show you the third property of the water, which is microclustering of the molecules. And so regular water, like tap water, is about 15 to 20 molecule clusters, whereas Kangen water is about 4 to 6 clusters, so much smaller. And you're going to get to see a visual when I show you that with these green tea bags. So this is Yamamoto green tea. It's a tea that I like. And so we're going to go ahead and put one of these in here in the first cup. And what do you have to normally do to make tea? You have to heat the water. So we're going to take room temperature tap water. And notice what's happening.
Nothing.
It's not making tea, is it? That's because you have to boil the water to make tea. So we're going to take another tea bag and we're going to take the Kangen water. Notice what happens. What's happening to that tea bag? It's making tea instantly. Watch what happens when I go to pour again. Instant tea, right? The smaller molecules are penetrating the tea bag and drawing the tea out of the tea bag. Okay, let's take one. How about if we go back to tap water? No tea, right? So it's not a magic show, so you understand. It's just the molecules are too big to draw the tea out of there. We'll go back to Kangen water. Notice how it's drawing tea out of the tea bag. And notice this tea bag's still struggling over here, right? So let's take it back over here and let's see if we can get tea out of it. Notice instant tea with the Kangen water. So I think you can understand with the microclustering of the molecules being 4 to 6 clusters, much smaller, how it's drawing the tea out of the tea bag. Now imagine when you're drinking this water on a regular basis, it's hydrating the body better. So I think you can see that drinking Kangen water with the negative ORP, right, the alkalinity and the microclustering of the molecules, this should be the water of choice for everybody to drink because it's far superior water and beneficial for the body. Now we're going to show you some other properties of the water that we can use for different purposes in your home. And what we're going to do is we're going to use some tomatoes here that I just got at the grocery store. So these are some Nature's Sweet tomatoes. And how do you normally clean your fruits and vegetables at home? You rinse them in the tap water, right? So we're going to take these Nature's Sweet tomatoes, and I'll try to pluck these out really quick. And you rinse them in the tap water, right? So we're just going to simulate that by pouring some tap water in here. You ladies didn't know you were going to do a little taste test today, did you? And we're going to take another bag of the Nature's Sweet tomatoes, and we're going to soak them in what's called strong Kangen water. And strong Kangen water is at a pH of about 11, 11.5. And the reason I put it in a black container is because 3 things affect the properties of the water. That is air, light, and movement. So we always store them in black containers when we make the water and we're going to use them. So we'll just soak some of the tomatoes with the 11.5 strong Kangen water. And while those are soaking, we'll let those sit there for just a minute. And we're going to take some, this is pure sesame oil. And we're going to take some sesame oil, and I'm going to show you while those are soaking what this water can do to the sesame oil. Now what happens, basic science, what happens when you mix water and oil?
They don't mix, they separate.
It doesn't mix, right? So notice how it's starting to separate. So watch when I take the same oil and put the strong Kangen water in there.
Oh, wow.
What just happened?
Emulsified.
It emulsified or it mixed the oil. So we're going to show you today with this water how you can use it for different purposes at home to clean your produce. You can also use it, put it in a black spray bottle like I do, and clean the house with it. So we're all concerned about the chemicals in our home, right? So we can now get rid of all those chemicals and make water that you can use as a degreaser, a cleaner, your 409. You can replace all of those. So let's go back to the tomatoes. How about that? So remember, these were soaking in the tap water and simulating how you clean them at home. And I'm just going to scoop them out of here and try not to make a mess. Okay. That's the tap water. We'll set them right there. And then we're going to do a little taste test. Are you ladies up for a taste test today? Okay, let's get I call these Kangen tomatoes. Now, notice the difference. So, you thought you cleaned your tomatoes in the tap water, right? But did you really?
No.
Notice what just came off the tomatoes.
Everything.
Herbicides, pesticides, oxidation, anything that's on the produce, because they use oil-based pesticides that don't wash off in the rain. So guess what? Regular water doesn't have the ability to take those off, but Kangen water has the ability to take them off, just like it broke down the oil over here. So let's go ahead and let's pass these around. We're going to go ahead and have each one of you grab one of the Kangen tomatoes, I call them. And let's do a little taste test. Those are kind of big, so you might not want to bite them in half. I would just bite the whole thing, or you might get tomato on you. And so we're going to let them try the Kangen tomatoes really quick. Hey guys, I'm Italian, and I didn't used to like tomatoes. That's pretty sad, right? But guess what? I found out it wasn't the tomatoes I didn't like. It was what was on the tomatoes that I didn't like. So how's the tomatoes? Are they pretty sweet? Not too bad?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now we're going to go ahead and pass these around. And this is the tomatoes that you normally, how you normally clean them and how you normally eat them. And let's see if we notice a difference, or who can notice a difference in the taste.
Sour.
Oh, you got to get a picture of these faces. Look at the face. Look at the difference in the taste. So that now you understand why I didn't like tomatoes. Like I said, it wasn't the tomatoes I didn't like. It was what was on the tomatoes that I didn't like. Everyone notice the difference?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The first one was much better. The first one tasted more like you got it out of the garden, right? And it was natural and no pesticides, and it was sweet. Even the texture's a little different. And the second one, you guys, because guess what? You were eating the tomatoes with this on there. And that will definitely affect the taste. And guess what? When you clean your produce with this Kangen water, the strong Kangen water, your produce will last a week or so longer. So one of the other benefits of this technology and the different waters that we can make that you can use in your home for different purposes. So now I'm going to show you the technology that makes the different waters that we showed you in the demonstration. And this is what's called the SD501, the Leveluck SD501. It's the top of the line unit that we have, and it's the gold standard in our industry. So with a touch of a button, I'll show you what we do. We simply hook this up to the sink right here. As you can see, the ordinary tap water coming out of here. And by diverting the water into the machine, as you can hear, it talks to you. So right now, that quick, we're making the water. I'm going to shut it off just so we can hear. So
Kangen Water 8.5.
as you can hear, 8.5 pH, so that's the alkaline drinking water.
Kangen Water 9.0.
9.0
Kangen Water 9.5.
and 9.5. So we have 3 levels of drinking water. The next water I'm going to show you in this green section is 7.0. It's just neutral water, and it says clean water. And it's for taking medication. So when you're taking medication, just use this water. And about 30 to 45 minutes later, you can go back to using the regular Kangen water. Now, when you're taking your nutritional products or natural products or green drinks, you definitely want to use the Kangen water because you want those to work much better, right? So you want those to be twice as strong and absorb much better. The next water.
Beauty Water.
Beauty water. So everybody wants to look more beautiful, right? So you never have to buy toners again, because this water will rival your best toners that you buy in your department stores, $20, $30, $40 a bottle, $50 a bottle, because we simply change the pH of this water to about 5.5, and that's exactly what toners are, because it acts as an astringent to tighten, tone, and soften your skin. The next 2 waters.
Strong acidic water.
Strong acidic water. This is a water that's about 2.5 pH. And this water is very acidic. And how we make this water? By adding a salt solution that's being added to the tank as it's being electrically charged. So when you're making this strong acid water, coming out here is the strong alkaline water, because we're separating the water. We have the strong acid water coming out this hose down here, the strong alkaline water coming out this hose, because remember that pH scale of 14? We're always splitting that. So if we're making 2.5, subtract that from 14, and that's what's coming out here is the 11.5 that we use for cleaning. All right? So those are the different waters that we make. So let me talk a little bit about the technology, and so you understand why this is the gold standard and why everybody compares themselves to Enagic. Because what's happening first, the water's first going through a double carbon antibacterial filter where it's filtering the water first. Then it's going through inside of here what we call the engine of this machine. I'm going to show you something that nobody else shows you, especially these other machines, the so-called competition on the market today. Right back here is what is the engine, and this is 7 large platinum-coated medical-grade titanium plates. And the water's passing through these plates, and it's being electrically charged with 230 watts of power. So the 2 most important parts of ionization are the size, surface area, and quality of these plates, and the electrical current that's happening to the water as it passes through the plates. So remember that. 2 most important qualities when you are looking add an ionizer. The next thing I'm going to show you, well, let's compare a few too. I'm just going to do this because they're never going to show you this. Some of the machines on the market today, the so-called competition, is not going to show you what the inside of their plates look like, because look at the difference. Look at that. And they call this competition? Look how small they are, you guys. These are so cheaply made. That's why none of the ionizers can really do what this does. Now I think you get to understand why you don't want to go with anybody else, and this is the golden standard. One other thing I'll show you about what makes this the golden standard is we simply spin this filter off, and we have what's called a manual cleaning cartridge. No other ionizer has this on the market. And because what happens to all ionizers are they start to build up with the inside the plates, you'll get the scaling from the calcium that's in the water. And what happens to the other ionizers, they all have a self or automatic cleaning system. None of them are good enough to completely clean the machine. So we simply spin this off, put on our cleaning cartridge, and you can actually clean this machine anytime you want. So I use mine, more commercially because I give away a lot of water. So I put a cleaning cartridge on mine once a month. They recommend you do it every 3 to 6 months. So, but the fact is we can clean this anytime we want. That's why this will last 15 to 20 years. 5-year warranty on everything. So I think you can see based on what I showed you today, and you'll understand why this is the gold standard in the industry. So what I would do is get back to the person who gave you this video, and they'll show you how you can get started and get one of these in your home so you can change your water and change your life.
If you need emergency medical care, treatment in the U.S. is the gold standard. But when it comes to prevention and managing chronic disease, that's another story. We've got big problems. We're overfed and undernourished. We've not only supersized our fast food, but our waistlines as well. The U.S. spends more on prescription drugs than any other country. But in Japan, instead of popping a pill to treat the symptoms, they search for the underlying cause, and it's working. People in Japan live longer than we do. People in Japan weigh less than we do. For years, people in Japan have been drinking a very special water. It's called Kangen Water, and now Kangen Water is available here in the U.S.
Prior to my life as a physician, I was working on a doctorate in nutrition. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in nutrition and completed my PhD coursework prior to starting medical school. So my background really began in nutrition. When I entered medical school, I was trained like most allopathic physicians that our job is to diagnose disease and to treat it with medication and surgery when necessary. And so I followed that model for the first few years of practice. I began to turn back towards my nutritional training and trying to help them understand nutrition as well as exercise physiology and activity as a means of helping them improve their health and reverse some of the chronic diseases that I was seeing on a regular basis.
Many processes within our bodies produce free radicals. Free radicals are entities that have lost an electron. They are positively charged. They come from the breakdown of foods, from the breakdown of toxins, and they enter our bloodstream. These free radicals are potentially harmful to cells. They will attach themselves, for example, to the lining cell of an artery. And when they do, they will produce an injury. That injury will create a response in the body trying to heal it. Platelets will come from the blood and try to plug that injury. And in the process of making a clot, in the process of then bringing in scavenger cells to repair the damage, the blood vessel is damaged. That's one of the theories of atherogenesis.
I've been here for over 20 years as a dentist, and prior to that I was a dental hygienist. When I worked as a dental hygienist, I got very interested in nutrition and the nutrition and how it relates to the teeth and how it relates to the person.
I've been asking every patient, most of the patient comes every 3 years or so. So I observe every year carefully, and I tell them your colon becoming very firm and tight and developing more pockets. So you have to change your diet, to my diet. Then they improve. year by year. That's at least like 2 years, 3 years later, their colon becomes soft and pliable. Even you have a lot of pockets, diverticulosis, which can create thickening of intestinal, the muscular layers. So this diet can change your body situation.
I tell my patients that we are one big biochemical reaction. Everything that's happening in our body is a biochemical reaction. And for biochemical reactions to occur, we need a solvent. And the solvent in our bodies is water. So there's no question that the most important thing that we can do is hydrate our bodies.
Acid reflux, as you know, is a huge problem in our country. People who are obese tend to have it because their stomach and their gastroesophageal junction gets shoved up into the chest. Their lower esophageal sphincter isn't tight, and the esophagus is squamous epithelium. It's a different lining from the stomach, and it doesn't tolerate acid. So when the valve that connects the stomach to the esophagus, that interconnection doesn't function, the acid suddenly starts bathing this lining of the esophagus in acid, and it can't tolerate it. It's painful. People have that terrible sour taste in their back of their throat.
When we treat chronic disease with medication and we don't really attack the root cause, which is oxidative stress, free radical damage, we're not really treating or curing the disease, we're managing the disease.
Antioxidants have become very, very popular because they are electron donors. And when they meet a free radical, that free radical gets what it wants. It gets its electron, and it's neutralized. Now, the oxidation reduction potential of Kangen water is gigantic. It's about 30 times greater than the famous green tea. Everyone knows about green tea being a profoundly good antioxidant. Fruits, vegetables are considered antioxidants. Kangen water at a pH of 9.5 can have a negative, which is an electron donating reduction potential of up to 600 millivolts. It's measured in millivolts. You couldn't eat enough fruits and vegetables to get anywhere near that amount into your system.
We rely on oxidative stress to kill bacteria and viruses and fungi. But oxidative stress in excess, when we don't have the proper balance, when we have too much oxidation and not enough of its counterpart, which is reduction, then we get into this situation where we start to see degeneration occur in cells, in the tissues, and ultimately in the body. We get degeneration of the body, we get aging, and we get chronic disease. Oxidative stress is the mechanism by which all this happens.
I find that drinking Kangen water is satisfying because it quenches one's thirst. One is able to drink a lot more because you don't get that bloated feeling. It is as if the water is very much more quickly absorbed. And there are studies that have shown that from the Japanese literature that the water starts being absorbed in the distal esophagus before it even hits the stomach. It's absorbed in the stomach, and then by the time the duodenal sweep has been reached, it's practically already totally absorbed.
Oxidized water is a very, unhealthy to me. So I don't drink that kind of water, but I drink alkalinized water. New York water, they say, the best water, but it still contains the chlorine. Why did they put the chlorine in? Because that the chlorine put into the water, that it creates the free radicals, and that free radicals can kill the bacteria. So that the chlorine in water is, there is no bacteria resides. So it's a healthy water, they call. But for a health point of view, taking this chlorine-containing water is actually oxidized water.
When I found out that the Kangen water machine makes 7 types of water, I started exploring the high end, the 11.5, and the 2.5 end of that water. And on my exploration, found out that the 2.5 water is bactericidal And I am using it in my practice to help with bleeding. I use it to sanitize the mouth before I start working on the patients.
The Japanese have done a tremendous amount of work on using ionized water for wound care. There's a lot published in the Japanese literature and also now in American literature about using pH 2.5 water for bactericidal purposes. Staph aureus, for example, cannot survive in 2.5 pH water. The kill ratios are dramatic for this, and so it stands to reason that this would be beneficial for contaminated wounds or even infected wounds. The Japanese, for example, treat diabetic ulcers with ionized water with a low pH and find that to be extremely successful. They also have published a lot on it, and the before and after pictures are very dramatic. The pH 2.5 water has tremendous antibacterial properties against both gram-negative and gram-positive organisms.
With the standard American diet, it's actually very sad. I mean, that is what it stands for. Standard American diet is filled with sugars and the high energy drinks, and even the bottled waters, the potato chips and the pizza, and the things that these children are getting in the vending machines. All of that is acidic.
You think the skin is only young? No, artery is young too. Most of people who are eating a lot of beef, meat, and a lot of oxidized waters, they tend to develop more narrowing strictures. And many people, even in the 50s, they had the bypass procedure, the stent in, all kind of problems in the artery.
One of the things that you learn is called primum non nocere. Above all, do no harm. That is the duty of a physician. It dates back to Hippocrates. None of us want to do harm. What we should do, and I think when we're convinced of something that is really truly good for people, we should go and recommend it to people.
Anytime our body sees protein that it doesn't recognize, we have the susceptibility to cause an inflammatory reaction or an allergic reaction. I really do think there's a connection there with incompletely digested proteins through the typical American diet that we consume.
Periodontal disease affects 75% of the population. And periodontal disease is a silent disease of the mouth. In other words, you don't really know you have it until it's too late. What I have found is that we do comprehensive cleanings on people to try to get their mouth healthy again. But we use as an adjunct the acidic water that we make here at the office with our Kangen machine, and we use it under the sulcus of all the teeth, in other words, around the teeth and the gums, to clean bacteria during our procedures. And we also send the patient home with the water, because I'm sure you've heard the eyes are the mirror to the soul, while the mouth is the mirror to the rest of the body.
Look at Japan. The country of Japan has the highest consumption of ionized water in the world. Now, I'm not saying it is necessarily a direct effect, but they are also #1 in overall health care in the world and #1 in longevity in the world. When we compare that to the United States, we're number 38 in longevity and in overall health. The Cubans have better health than we do.
We need to respect the fact that we have all these built-in mechanisms to help us fight disease, to maintain our health. But we need to support ourselves in that healing process by eating natural foods, by drinking the right type of water, by managing stress, by getting plenty of exercise and plenty of oxygen to our lungs.
This is a very important. You just change your diet very little bit. Enjoy the health, enjoy your longevity too. I think #1 most important thing is water. To drink water, alkalized and ionized water, which is Kangen water.
I'm very excited that Kangen Water is here to help both children and adults alike in my practice, and my patients are loving it.
I've had the great fortune in my life to have graduated from one of the finest medical schools in the world, Harvard. I was trained in the Harvard residency program. I've spent my entire professional career affiliated with that institution. One of the best things, next to being affiliated with this great institution, has been my discovery of Kangen Water.
For those of you who are trying to optimize your health and trying to do everything you can to have good health, to maintain your health, preserve your health, my plea is just try the water.
In Japan, they have a saying, Mizuo Kayareba, Jinsei Kawaru. Translated, change your water, change your life. Do yourself and your family a favor. Ask for a free sample of Kangen water. Try it and see for yourself.
Hey guys, Dr. Axe here, founder of draxe.com and Dr. Natural Medicine. Hey, I want to talk to you about the dangers of plastic bottles. Now, these are things that most people consume almost every day. I mean, whether you're stopping at a gas station or grocery store, lots of us are drinking it out of plastic. But here's what I want to tell you, is that these plastics are not necessarily a natural material. What happens is they can accumulate toxins in our body over time, which have both foreseen and unforeseen consequences to our bodies. Here's some fast facts. Americans buy 500 million, think about that, 500 million bottles of water every single week. That's enough to circle the globe 5 times, and it costs 2,000 times more than tap water. So again, bottled water is something that obviously is a more recent phenomenon, but again, these things are adding up and actually causing health issues in millions of people around the world. So let's talk about what's in bottled water and the risks. Number one, they contain hormone-disrupting chemicals. Now, most of us have heard by now of a compound called BPA, that's bisphenol A, and BPA has been shown to be an endocrine disruptor, okay? So this is going to cause issues with hormones, whether it be estrogen and progesterone, testosterone. It's going to throw off these hormones and cause issues like infertility, can increase PCOS, can cause low testosterone in men. You don't want to drink out of plastic bottles if you can help it, especially those with bisphenol A. But again, hormone-disrupting chemicals, that's what's in our water. Number two, antimony trioxide. Now, antimony is a compound that's found in the earth. It's a metal element, but this is actually found in a lot of plastic bottles. So imagine that, we've heard press on the dangers of mercury from silver fillings. We've heard the dangers of lead-based paints and eating those and being exposed. We've heard also of even arsenic in some of our food supply. Well, antimony falls into the same category with those, to where if you have too much of it, it's neurotoxic, has been linked to heart and cardiovascular issues, liver issues, kidney issues, but it's a toxin to the body. And again, many of this is found in bottled water and antimony. Number three, there's been more than 25,000 chemicals discovered from what's, a lot of times when we're buying bottled water, there's tap water in there, which there are more chemicals in there. But also, again, just the chemicals found in plastic alone are severely toxic to the body, and they're not natural for the body to handle. So really, it's causing liver toxicity. You may not realize this, but if your liver becomes overly toxic, it actually affects your hormones as well. Your liver is actually part of what filters out and detoxes excessive estrogen in the body. So hey, one of the biggest causes of infertility today in PCOS is when women get estrogen too high and progesterone gets too low. Well, if estrogen gets too high, your body needs to lower it. You know what? It can't do that when your liver's too toxic. So again, this contributes to that issue as well. Here are other bottled water risks. Plastic pollution. Think about what we're doing to our environment. Plastic does not degrade naturally as other things do over time. And so what it's going to do, we're polluting the ocean, we're polluting the earth here as well. It's resource intensive. The resources it's taking and what we're having to do to produce plastic can destroy the earth as well. And then also, there are safer solutions out there today. Think about this, especially when we're talking about drinking water and your own personal health and safety. It's easy to make the switch to glass or to stainless steel. And those are the two things in the Axe household we use every single day. You'll see lots of glass, lots of stainless steel, much healthier and safer options there as well. So
direct selling is one of the few business opportunities that offers average people with above average ambition to achieve an above average lifestyle, peace of mind, and financial security. So what are we going to learn today? We're going to learn about a ground level opportunity which endorses teamwork. We're going to learn how helping our friends will actually pay you. We'll learn about a patented business model that pays you residually. I'm talking about mailbox money. How to leverage other people's efforts to pay yourself. A model that can be duplicated by your friends. The 40-plus year company you've never even heard about. The healthiest substance your body runs on and needs. The industry financial expert Robert Kiyosaki calls the business of the 21st century. Why you definitely want to be your own boss now. And how you can get paid $15,000 a month for life. So sit tight, make sure your speakers are turned up, and let's get going. But before we start, there's one question I bet no one's ever asked you before. Now, think about this seriously. If you had all the money in the world and all the time to spend it, how would your life be different? Now, I want you to think about that for a second. What are your dreams? What have you always wanted for yourself? Would you live in the same house you live in now? Would you drive the same car? Would you take some more vacations? Maybe pay off credit card bills or help out family and friends? Did you think about it? Well, now ask yourself, can you get those things with what you're doing right now? Well, the unfortunate reality is that many of us are deep in credit card debt with bills piling up. We're stressed out in an unstable and shrinking job market. Now hear an interesting quote by one of my great mentors, Mr. Anthony Robbins. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. I'll repeat that again. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. So what if I want more? Do you think you would need a new vehicle to take you there? Well, guess what? That is exactly what we're going to learn today. You're going to learn about the new vehicle that can potentially take you to those dreams. Now, does that sound like something you might be interested in? Well, that new vehicle, my friends, is called the Kangen Water program. We have the power of first mover advantage with a ground level opportunity. And your timing here is not coincidence. It's perfect. Their program is backed by one of the most experienced companies in the business. Now, first you should know, Enagic is a qualified member of the Direct Sellers Association, and they don't just accredit anybody. You must have the highest standards in business to be associated with the DSA. They have an A rating by the Better Business Bureau and within the top 100 of Direct Selling News Global, the leading industry publication. They achieved many certificates and awards by numerous reputable organizations. And they've been in business for over 40 years, which means stability and credibility for their members. And that's a very important fact to Enagic because they are in the business of helping people. And how do they do that? They do that by changing the way people live by advocating true health and wellness. But don't take it from me. Let's take a look at what the experts have been saying about Kangen Water.
It's been dubbed miracle water by the company that makes it, the ultimate antioxidant that can actually reverse some health ailments. But does water really have the power to heal? Kangen water is being poured to a long line of devotees.
We all know this. We need to drink plenty of water.
But there's a certain kind of water some people swear is better for you. Is it really healing water? 7's Diana Diaz explains.
We're talking about something called healing water. Don't laugh. Ladies, see this? They say if you wash your face in that, you don't need a plastic surgeon.
Of course, we all remember the emotional rescue of those Chilean miners last month. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. But did you know they were given a special kind of water to help keep them healthy when they were down there? Lisa Ortiz is here to explain. Hey,
Yes. Hey, good morning to you. Yeah, did you know that? They were given special water, and that's what they drank while they were trapped down there. And it's been gotten some great reviews, and it's so easy. You can have it in your own home as well. It is called Kangen Purity Kangen Water.
Kangen Water.
Kangen water.
Kangen Water. Kangen Water. Kangen Water has been used in Japanese hospitals for years, and now the water systems are popping up at restaurants and homes all over South Florida.
Kangen water is water that is not only filtered. Filtering just takes out contaminants. It's water
water that goes through an additional process called ionization.
The water system is simply hooked up to your faucet.
Inside the machine, there are plates made out of medical-grade titanium, and the machine is plugged into the electricity, so there is a mild electrical charge running through those plates.
The machine takes tap water, filters out the harmful contaminants, and then splits it into alkaline and acid waters. The theory is our body's pH needs to be balanced.
Kangen Water 8.5.
Little by little, the body's becoming too acidic. So this water helps to offset the acidity, to give your body the right kind of water that it needs, that's alkaline, has minerals in it, and in addition, the water is very antioxidant, which means it fights free radical damage.
Client Charlotte McKenna has been drinking Kangen water for 9 months.
Well, I thought it was weird, at first, and then I saw this demonstration. It was, amazing to me. I had a lot of pain in my hands and my fingers. I have arthritis. That went away within a week.
McKenna is also a breast cancer survivor.
I will have a much better chance never to get cancer again as long as my body is alkaline.
So is Kangen water perhaps the fountain of youth? Try it for yourself.
So how it all came about that this water was actually taken to the Chilean miners in Chile? Yes, former Miss Chile, when she heard about this, as soon as we found out, or as soon as she found out that the miners were alive, she still had contacts with the Chilean government, contacted them. They put her coordinated with the Navy that was facilitating the rescue. She told them about the unique properties to the water, why this would be very important for the miners for hydration. They did their own test on the water. They flew her over there. Within 2 days of us finding out they were alive, they were getting the Kangen water down in the mine. They were highly impressed with the results. They did their own testing on the water, and now even their Navy over there wants the Kangen water for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so there you go. So they had that while they were down there, and you too can have it in your home. It's that easy.
Now, is that an exciting product or what? Enagic's offering of Kangen water has been a breakthrough in the wellness industry, with expansion all around the globe. Hundreds of thousands of new distributors, a global infrastructure, new markets opening up around the world, huge awareness in the health and fitness communities, headline news coverage, celebrity endorsements, and so many other great things. Just meet an Enagic distributor on Facebook, and you'll see why they're so crazy over this business. Let me introduce you to one. Meet my father, Romy Verdera. Yes, you heard it right. My partner is also my father. In 2006, Romy was flat broke, about to lose his home, and neck deep in credit card debt. He joined the Kangen Water program in January 2006 and made his first 6 figures in 6 months. He went on to become a multi-million-dollar earner, saving his home and revolutionizing his life. And while his results may not be typical, just imagine the difference that you can make in your own life in the next 5 years. Now, to put that into perspective, I want to ask you another very important question. Which would you prefer? Forced in what the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and if you haven't read that book, pick it up, but what Robert Kiyosaki likes to call it, the rat race. Being underpaid, underappreciated, stressed out, and basically repeating the cycle. Rinse, wash, repeat, right? Or would you like to be the designer of your life? Freed up from your time, money to actually enjoy it. And if you had that, wouldn't you be more stress-free? Well, no one may have ever told you this in school, and I know no one ever told me. But the real truth to this is that the choice is actually yours to make, and the business model you're about to see can potentially take you there. So let's take a look.
Hi, my name's Bob Gridelli, and I'll tell you my incredibly Enagic story and how I got started in this business. It was about 2 years ago that I was introduced to Enagic and Kangen Water by a good friend of mine, Arlene. She first told me a little bit about the water and what it did for a lot of her family and friends. I had a hard time believing it, but through my own due diligence and going to the website, I went down and took a look at a live demonstration where I saw the incredible properties of Kangen water. I ended up investing in this technology for my own personal use, and I had no intention of doing this as a business. But it's really, once you own this technology, you can't help but share the water with people that you care and love. And the water totally turned the health around of about a half a dozen of my friends' parents initially 2 years ago. And they got such amazing results drinking the water that it started to spread one by one to other people. And one of my friends, Danny Sicarella out of Houston, Texas, because of his parents, it spread to 21 people that bought a machine in the month of May of '07, which was absolutely unbelievable because, you guys, he didn't know what he was doing. He just gave people water and showed them a DVD. So I learned it could be that simple, and in the month of June, I started doing the same thing he did, sharing the water with people, press and play, letting them watch a DVD, so very simple and duplicatable. I did that 40 times in the month of June. And you guys, so many people got results on the water, and so many people wanted to buy the machine that my commission jumped to $36,000 in that month of June. So my second month since I bought a machine. Ever since then, I've been running fast and hard and just getting people to see and drink this water, see the technology, see the demonstration. And you guys, it grew from my one little machine to over about 8,000 people now are enjoying the benefits of Kangen Water, you guys, and it's paid me a ridiculous amount of money. It spread from, it grew for my first 8 months was $250,000. Last year was $520,000. 2 years now, $1 million, you guys. $1 million in 2 years. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Even for me, I know I was healthy, but I still had more energy, sleeping better, waking up earlier, no more knee problems, and just amazing. I would get to a live demonstration yourself, get drinking the water, help change your water, change your life like we have.
And doesn't that look exciting? It fires me up every time I see that video, because what we truly are is perfectly positioned. What you have here is brand new ground floor opportunity with a truly experienced 35-plus-year-old company, global infrastructure, and the leadership of some of the highest earning networkers in the network marketing direct selling industry. And if that wasn't enough, check out what the Wall Street Journal had to say about network marketing and direct selling. It's acknowledged as a leading business model and endorsed by financial experts with the likes of Warren Buffett, Donald Trump, and Robert Kiyosaki, just to name a few. And check out this powerful quote by Darren Hardy, publisher of Success Magazine. Direct selling is one of the few business opportunities that offers average people with above-average ambition to achieve an above-average lifestyle, peace of mind, and financial security. Wow, powerful words by Mr. Darren Hardy. Our industry is backed by leading financial publications, and our product has been featured by the top publications in health and lifestyle. Want even more social proof? Just take a look at who's using Enagic products, and I can tell you that there's plenty more whose picture didn't make this page. Just take a look at the two most world-renowned fitness trainers, Jillian Michaels and Dulvit Quince, of the hit television show The Biggest Loser. That's what I call social proof. Now let's get into the business part of this presentation, the innovative business model. How would you like to turn Kangen Water into a full-time residual income? Of course you would. We all would. But if you're like most people, then you're probably a part of the 40-40-40 club, working 40 hours per week, working for 40 long years, and retiring on 40% of what you couldn't live on in the first place. That doesn't sound very much like a promising future, and unfortunately, many baby boomers are experiencing the last portion of that 40-40-40 club right now. But guess what? There is a solution, and it's what I like to call the 2 to 5 year plan. And to make this plan work, all you have to do is ask yourself, do you know 3 people who could use an additional income? Do you know 3 people who want to stay healthy? Of course you do. Who doesn't? And guess what? That's all you need to maximize the potential of their patented 8-point compensation business model. So let's get into it. The 8-point compensation system was developed by Enagic and was so successful they received a patent for it just so that it could not be duplicated. Now the 8-point system is not just lucrative, but it also promotes synergy and teamwork from all of your partners. And it's the reason why Enagic has been able to expand globally in the last 10 years. So how does the 8-point system work? Let's use our flagship SD501 machine for our example. Your first 2 sales open up a 1-point lane. So if you were to sell a machine, you would earn $285 for that sale, and for any sale made in that lane. So let's say Mary to your left and John to her right makes your first 2 sales. Then on your third sale, you receive 2 points or $570 on your third lane, which is Steve on your right. And you also get paid on their customers and their customers. Customers down 8 points, which means when you make a sale to Mary, you receive a commission for that sale. Now when Mary makes a sale to Susie, the lady with the big hat in the corner of your screen, you still receive a commission. And when Susie makes a sale, you still receive a commission for that sale, and it continues 8 levels down the lane. This is what you call leveraged sales through a referral or social business model. And guess what? You've already done this before. Have you ever recommended a restaurant, a movie, a car to a family member or friend? Well, voila, you've participated in referral marketing. Now let's see how we can help our friends, or maybe even have our friends help us with this program. Now to move up in rank and get paid more points per sale, you need to qualify a certain amount of team sales. It takes only a few sales to move up in rank and to be making good money. Let's say 2 of your friends each sold 4 machines. Well, that totals to 10 team sales, which promotes you to the rank of 3A, earning 3 points at $855 per sale. Now, for all your future sales, you are now earning $855 down the lane. Now, with a total of 20 team sales, you get promoted to the rank of 4A, which means you get 4 points, totaling $1,140 for every sale going down the lane. 50 team sales, and you get promoted to the rank of 5A, earning 5 points, totaling $1,425 for your sales and your customer sales down the lane. And with 100 team sales, you reach the much coveted rank of 6A, earning 6 points, totaling $1,710 down the lane. Now, what that does is create a teamwork environment where you are helping out your friends who are in your business below you, while also receiving help from your partners above you. This creates synergy and reciprocation throughout your entire team. Can you see how powerful this is? Now follow this program of leverage sales, and you can just imagine the possibilities that this can create with your life.
Now, of course, we don't guarantee how much money you will earn. That's all up to you. True wealth is earned by those that work and persevere. And that is what this program is all about.
Now with this program, there are also multiple ways to earn. You have the passive income of the 8-point compensation plan. And you have access to Enagic's many bonus programs. Today, we'll just talk about 3. You have the title incentive bonuses, where you can earn additional cash bonuses as you are promoted up the ranks. These bonuses range from $3,000 to $250,000. Now you have the educational allowance, which pays you a commission for every sale made past your 8 points. Then you have the loyalty bonus, which pays you a minimum of $5,000 or more per month for life once you qualify. Let's now take a look at them. First, we have the title incentive bonus. Reach the rank of 6A22, and you receive your first 5-figure bonus. Now, reach the rank of 6A25, and you can expect a 6-figure bonus check on top of your compensation. Is that incentive or what? Next, we have the 6A education allowance. Reach the rank of 6A, and you now get paid $200 for every sale made past your 8 points. Wow! Then there's the Enagic loyalty bonus. Enagic exclusive members who qualify for this bonus get a loyalty check starting at $5,000 per month for life, all the way up to $25,000 per month for life. Just think about how many friends you have on Facebook. Do you have more than a 6A2 rank? Do you have more than 6A2 rank? Most of you probably do.
Could a business model like this get you to where you want to be? Are you tired of slaving yourself each day just to be unappreciated and underpaid? Well, no wonder financial experts like Susie Orman, Donald Trump, and Warren Buffett endorse this type of business model. Just look at what the power of duplication and exponential business growth can earn. But remember, it's up to you to decide how much you want it.
Now, if you thought that was all, guess what? There's still more. With your enrollment into the Kangen Water program, you also get enrollment to the Kangen program, which means you get 2 businesses for the price of just one. The Kangen program is something we like to call the new gold rush. we have a proven life-changing product, a recurring residual income, which also pays 8 points down the line, even more ways to earn income, international sponsoring, and Ukon sales even count towards your Kangen Water rank promotions. Successfully complete just 20 sales. And let me remind you, that's 20 sales from your entire team within your 8 points. And you can earn an average of $800 per month. Complete those sales to your 6A rank, and we're talking financial freedom, my friend. But remember, I can't guarantee these amounts for you. It's up to you to decide how much you want it. But I can guarantee you this, and I will say it in a quote by legendary sports figure Wayne Gretzky. You will miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Let me say that again. You will miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So guess what time it is? Time to take massive action for your life. And the time to act is right now. We have growing awareness, an experienced company, and a ground level opportunity. Secure your future and get out of the 40-40-40 plan. All your dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. That is a quote by Walt Disney, and I'm sure he needs no introduction. Here's how you can get started. Contact the associate who invited you to this presentation about getting your very own Kangen Water machine. Your distributorship is absolutely free. We even have zero down financing for those who qualify. And remember, timing is everything, people. You can get started today before the bandwagon hits and get situated at the top. Or you can decide to wait and get seated at the bottom of the totem pole. Success comes to those who take action. Please get back to the associate who invited you to this presentation so they can show you how to take the next step. Thank you for watching the presentation. I wish you the best in all your endeavors, and I'll see you at the top.